The entry point for me came when I was younger and started listening to recordings and discovered recordings on so-called old instruments, on period instruments. And I was just so fascinated by this sound world with all its refinement, and a sound world that's slightly smaller but richer, I found. And it was a few recordings of Mozart operas and piano concertos on period instruments, and I thought, this is the most intoxicating, beguiling sound world. I have to be able to be a part of this.
And this is what Mozart wrote on?
Absolutely.
Right.
This was really the instrument he cut his teeth on from about something very similar to this from about 1777 until his death in 91.
Right. Can we have a quick listen?
Yeah. This is a B-flat sonata, K333. It's a completely different sound world to the modern piano. You know, it's a sort of glassy, delicate, very bell-like sound. Obviously, it doesn't have quite as much density as the modern piano, but it's a very kind of speech-like sound. I think it equates a lot of articulation and spoken clarity. Much more than the sort of singing bel canto, cantabile line that you associate with the big piano. You know what these pianos tell you is that Mozart was a very smart guy, and he understands immediately what a piece of equipment can offer him.
Beautiful.
Mozart is amazingly adventurous with the scale of different sound from the bass to treble, and composers really play around with this stuff. So he says, this is a different world, emotionally speaking, from he cherishes this instrument. It is part of his personality, and I was really inspired by that when I started playing them, and that changed my relationship to his music dramatically.
I find it really intriguing that we have an Australian Brandenburg Orchestra playing instruments and specialising in music and instruments when there wasn't a European presence in Australia.
It is one of those wonderful things. It's like 1788, Mozart writes his last three symphonies, and I think the big crisis in 1788 was one of the cows escaped the Sydney colony, and the entire livelihood was called into question.
Yeah.
But there's this wonderful thing about making music in this part of the world, sort of apart from Europe, is that you do your very best and you think it's not good enough, but in fact, as you're doing that, it gets really much better. And I have to say, this project with the Brandenburg Orchestra it's been a wonderful working environment, and putting together this program of Mozart piano concertos and symphonies and Bach's sinfonias is a terrific honor. So good.
Kristian Bezuidenhout and the Brandenburg Orchestra will be playing Sydney and Melbourne until the 19th of September.